HifiVega, back again with another video. This time we're going to do something a little bit different. Depending on how you guys like this, I may do more of these or I may just abandon it altogether. But definitely give me a little bit of constructive criticism for what you'd like to see me change if you want me to continue doing this. So now that I've said that, I'm going to explain to you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through this 1999 December November episode of Car Stereo Review, and I'm just going to pick out this one submission where they compare 3/8s and 3/15s. And I'm just going to go through and kind of show you what they had in the magazine and just go through and kind of tell you how he tested, you know, where he put it. And yeah, let's get into it. So it's on page 76 here. All right, here it is. Now these subs, there's 4 subs in here that I absolutely loved from the old school. The XTR, especially the 15. I love the 15. I had a couple of those. Punch DVC might be one of my favorite subs of all time, mainly for nostalgia. Image Dynamics. I never could afford these back in the day, but I got to play with them more recently, and these are great subs. This sub right here, 8W6. That thing is a legend. This article was by Tom Nousaine. I believe that's how you say it. So basically over here, he's setting up the test procedures, and it's all going to be in his 95 Corvette LT1. Also, he mentions that he took all the measurements and then used near-field lab measurements in an optimal or recommended enclosure. These are his 3 criteria, or the 3 test procedures. He's testing for frequency response, and he has 6 microphones positioned around in the driver's seat, and then the subwoofer is located in the vet's hatch. He's testing for maximum SPL with a 10% distortion limit at a 3rd octave frequency from 10 to 80 Hertz. Also, he's going to test for maximum SPL. He lists a couple of the tracks he's going to use for maximum SPL. One's 976 bass from the Erotica's Bass Ecstasy. Then he also uses Jurassic Lunch from the Great Fantasy Adventure album, and then he also uses Loudest Black Powder Cannon shots from excerpts of cannons recorded in the 1812 Overture. So right here, he's just kind of setting up what he's doing, but I'm gonna go ahead and skip all that. We'll get into the good stuff. Okay, right here, I'm gonna put up a screenshot so you guys can examine this more closely. It's basically just the ported sealed recommendations, all the TL small parameters, and the Dumax measurements. Okay, now that that's done, he's got the subs listed from 3 to 1. It kind of gives you a little hint of how they place. But I'm going to go ahead and read you the first paragraph of what he says about each sub. The 8s. The ADS 308RS. The 10.8 pound ADS, and it shows a retail price of $200. Is easily the most well-appointed speaker in this group. It has a handsome cast basket, an extremely stiff composite cone, a large spider, a bump back plate, a rubber magnet cap, and a pair of gold-plated slide connectors for its dual voice coils that'll accept dual bananas on 3/4 inch centers or stripped leads. If the 308 is installed by authorized dealer, the warranty is 3 years, otherwise it's 1 year. Controlled Dispersion Technology bills their MS-80, retail price of $220, as a high-definition cast alloy subwoofer designed to appeal to folks who want adult bass. This sub is not meant for the traditional kid, my italics, customers, or even traditional installer. According to CD Technologies, they say that this subwoofer needs a high-end installer who can build an absolutely airtight, perfectly sealed enclosure with a minimum volume of 0.225 cubic feet and an optimal volume of 0.45 cubic feet. If installed by the authorized CDT dealer, MS-80 has a warranty of 3 years, otherwise a warranty of 1 year. Then you can see you gotta, you don't want to get caught by the cops, so you gotta have this speed detector right there. Okay, I also will include a picture of this so you guys can study that more closely. And basically, they're just going through right here, showing the mounting depth, sensitivity, the response that they measured, and then to me, most importantly, I'm looking for the maximum sound pressure level with 10% total harmonic distortion, and then with the 3 killer bass tracks that I mentioned earlier. In this area, the ADS from 25 to 62 Hertz, done 110 dB. The CDT done 111. And the 8W6 done 114. And then if you go down to the maximum sound pressure level, the ADS done 113.8. The CDT done 112.7. and the JL done 116.5. So clearly the JL is much stronger than the other subwoofers in the category. Shows the 3 subwoofers I haven't read to you yet, so we'll come back to that page. I love these advertisements, man. I mean, this brings you right back to the old days. I don't know if it's just me or if everybody likes the advertisements. I mean, like this is killer Macintosh. Okay, now I read the paragraph from the 8W6. The guys at JL Audio really know how to make a sub. The 8W6CR's chrome basket houses dual 6-ohm voice coils, a plastic mineral-filled polypropylene cone, and a double-density foam surround. Despite the chrome, the 8W6CR retail price of $220 isn't as fancy looking to me as the other 2 8s in the field. Its warranty is 2 years if enclosure design and constructed are approved by an authorized JL dealer. Otherwise, the 8W6CR's warranty is a mere 90 days. That kind of stinks. Now we're on to the 15s. Starting with 3, it's the Orion XTR 15D. D's for dual voice coil. Except for its 20 cubic foot vast, yes, you need 20 cubic feet of air to equal the compliance of this subwoofer's suspension. The most extreme element of the Orion's Extreme XTR 15D, with a retail price of $229, is its massive 15-inch stamped metal frame. This driver also features a treated cone, an extended backplate, and a rubber surround. The latter actually extends far enough beyond the edge of the cone to provide a rubber cover for the basket edge. That's a nice cosmetic enhancement, if you ask me. When installed by an authorized dealer, the Orion Extreme sub has a limited lifetime warranty. Otherwise, the warranty period is 2 years. That's not too bad. I mean, that's a great sub. I've run that sub for a while. Okay, and as you can see here, they go ahead and they list the score for what each place got. So before I get into all that, I also took a picture of this and I'll post it in the video. I'm going to go ahead and read you the description for the Rockford Fosgate and the Image Dynamics. The Rockford Fosgate RFP 1215, which I've run a similar model, except I run the 12 for a long time. Retail price of $260 is at the head of the manufacturer's punchline. It has dual voice coils, a powder-coated stamped basket, a treated paper cone, a Santoprene rubber surround, an extended pole piece, and a vented and bump back plate. All this yields a 15-inch sub with 12 millimeters of linear stroke and tops 130 dB SPL in my LT1. Its warranty is 1 year, no matter who does it or how it's installed. And then, it's wonderful. It's nice to find a manufacturer who doesn't penalize the do-it-yourselfer. I tend to agree with that, but maybe it could have been like a 2 or 3 year warranty. So let's go on to the Image Dynamics. Okay, the ID154, the Image Dynamics ID154. Retail price of $239, has a single 4-ohm voice coil, and then he notes that it's all in the model number, which is a 15.4. Most of us understand that. A treated paper cone, a foam surround, a stamped basket, and a bump back plate. If installed by authorized dealer or in an authorized enclosure, the warranty period is 1 year. Otherwise, the warranty is zip, nothing, nada. Now, that really stinks. But let's go back here, and then we can see what the decibel score for the 15s are. Okay, so the maximum at 10%, the Image Dynamics is 122.8, and that's from 25 hertz to 62 hertz. The Orion Extreme, or XTR 15, is 118 from the same frequency, and the Rockford Fosgate is 122.6 from the same frequency. And then also, I didn't note this in the 8s, but they also have a 10 to 20 hertz level, which is, that's kind of brutal, and especially on some of these older subs. So the Image Dynamics done 123.4 from 10 to 20 hertz. The Orion XTR done 117.4, and then the Rockford Fosgate done 122.3. They show a maximum SPL at any frequency, but they don't denote what the frequencies were. The Rockford Fosgate done 128.3, which is the highest. The second highest would be the Image Dynamics 126.6, and then we move on to the Extreme, which done a 123.3. So now we can flip and we can look at the winners, or how they placed. So as I mentioned before, I'll put a picture of this up so you guys can review it closely. And he shows the weighting factor for every single thing he measured. And the way it turns out is third place for the 8-inch woofers is the ADS. Second place, the CDT MS-80. And then The first place is the 8W6. All right, now we're on to the 15s. Third place, sadly for me, is the Orion Extreme XTR 15. And second place is the Rocker Fosgate Punch DVC. And then first place is Image Dynamics, the ID15-4. Now we'll just kind of see what he concluded here. And I'll go ahead and I'll read this whole end of this conclusion for you. All 6 of these woofers sounded wonderful and played well below their limits, and accompanied by good satellite speakers, they all do rock and roll, jazz, pop, and classical music with grace and panache. The differences occur at the edge of the performance limits, and the performance numbers quantify those limits. When deciding on a sub to best suit your needs, you should base your choice on what you want the sub to do, how much output with frequency response, how much efficiency, how much space, cost, etc., and what the available subs can do. And of course, different people like different types of performance. Some may want high SPL all the way down to 10 Hz. Others may want high SPLs from 80 to 100 Hz, and so on. As always, my choices may not match your needs, so read this test carefully to find out the information that best meets your needs. So then he goes into a recap of why and what he chose. So to recap, over to the 8-incher zone, the ADS is noteworthy for its high efficiency, and the CDT really comes to its own on audiophile jazz recordings. But the JL 8W6 is the best performing 8-inch sub in the trio, and the output equals that of some larger subs. You know, the people that have played with that sub know that that's true. Okay. Now he's on to the 15-inch. The battle of the 15-inch giants confirms that larger cones and larger displacement means more bass. You can favor the performance of these titans by putting them in a sealed, ported, or bandpass enclosure. And if you don't want those large amount of closure space that the 15 traditionally requires, I suggest going with an infinite baffle configuration. While the XTR 15 is the most sensitive of the 3 15-inchers, the Rockford and the Image Dynamics were tops in performance. Installed correctly, either midget 8s or giant 15s can prove to be part of a surefire recipe for good low bass. After all, the cars are bass-friendly places, and, as I mentioned before, most hardcore home stereo enthusiasts never even heard 30 Hz in their home. But in a car, it's hard to escape. Well, that's it. Like I said, give me your feedback. I want to know what you guys think about these. If you like them, I'll continue to do them and I'll improve on them. And also, I mean, if you don't like them and you just want me to go on to something else, you know, let me know in the comments and I'll go ahead and I'll return to something else. But if you do like them and you'd like me to change a few things, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know what I could change, how I can make this better. Until next time, just be looking out for my videos. And as always, thank you for watching.